Think of an ingredients needed when making a pizza. Those ingredients have to be put together in the correct order or your pizza will not turn out right. This is the same as organizing a speech. You have to format it in the correct order or it will come out like a pizza without dough. When developing your main points for your speech, you need these ingredients: topical pattern, temporal pattern, spatial pattern, problem-solution pattern, cause and effect pattern, and motivated sequence. But these points depend on the type of speech that you are giving. The first is topical pattern. This is when your topic divides itself into subdivisions. Each of these are clearly written and approximately equal in importance. For example, a speech on important cities of the world might be organized into a topical pattern. Another great example would be organizing a speech on the powers of government. This topic will be divided into 3 different parts: legislative, executive, and judicial. The second ingredient is temporal pattern. This is when your speech is organized chronologically into 3 or 4 major parts, beginning with the past and working up to the present or future. It could also be beginning with the present and working your way back to the past. For example, a speech on television could be a temporal pattern. This speech would be on the 4 different television scheduling programs during the day, beginning with morning television that gets people ready for their day. Then it's daytime television. That's what keeps the homebound viewer company. Next is primetime television. This keeps everyone entertained. Late night television is mostly appeals to adults. The third ingredient is spatial pattern. This is when you organize your main points on the basis of space, which can be useful when you describe objects and places. You use these things from top to bottom, left to right, inside and out, and from east to west. This is an example of the textbook. The front of the matter contains the preface and the table of contents. The text proper contains the chapters, and the back matter contains the glossary, bibliography, and index. The fourth ingredient is problem-solution pattern. This is a key tool when performing persuasive speeches in which you want to convince the audience that the problem does exist, and that your solution would solve or lessen the problem. For example, if you want to persuade your audience that the jury awards for the damages that should be limited, the first part of your speech should identify the problem, and the second part, you should present the solution. The next ingredient is cause and effect pattern. This is helpful in speeches where you want to show your audience the causal connection that exists between the 2 events or elements. Your speech always divides into 2 sections, cause and effect. An example of the speech might be reasons for highway accidents and birth defects. This would lead itself to the cause and effect pattern. The last ingredient is motivated sequence. This is a pattern that is for organizing your speech so that your audience will respond positively to your purpose. The organization pattern divides speeches into 3 steps: introduction, body, and conclusion. The motivated sequence organizes the speech into 5 categories. Step 1, gain your listener's attention. Step 2, demonstrate that there is a problem. Step 3, show your listeners how they can resolve the problem. Step 4, show your listeners what the situation would be like if the problem was eliminated. Step 5, tell the listeners what they must do to resolve the problem. Organizational patterns are the key to success in a speech. You may want to let your audience know what pattern you are following. Here's an example. In explaining the goals of television scheduling, you start with monitoring the TV and go through the day to late night TV. By listening to this speech, I hope that you have realized how important it is to organize your main points in your speech. These points are topical pattern, temporal pattern, spatial pattern, problem-solution pattern, cause and effect pattern, and motivated sequence. Choosing one of these is determined by the type of speech that you are giving. These are the key ingredients that you put on your pizza, and if you miss a step, you won't have a delicious pizza to eat. Just like preparing a speech, if it's not prepared right, your delivery will be poor and incorrect.